There aren't many cars which have managed to earn a true cult following, but there are a few modern machines which have gained a true and loyal fan base. And one such example is the Mahindra XUV 7XO. This one is the successor to the Mahindra XUV 700, and it has quickly become one of the most important cars in the segment, again just like the XUV 700. In this video, we'll try to answer most of the questions that you guys have asked us in our social comments. One being our opinion on the looks, the interior space, features, part range and feature variant distribution, and most importantly, the fuel efficiency real world mileage that we have tested of this car. So stay tuned for that. So this one is the AX7L in the 2.2 diesel manual, guys, and we'll tell you in this video, is it worth buying over the competitions like the Kia Seltos, Hyundai Creta or even the new Renault Duster? So before you invest, let's investigate. My name is Haji and you are watching CarWale. So first things first, let's talk about the design. This is one area where I feel Mahindra has done a solid job, just like what they did with the 700. This one continues that legacy, and I feel Mahindra cars in general have this unsaid aura of being larger than life, and this is true with the 7XO as well. In a segment where Safari offers the muscle and Kia Seltos offers the style, this one fits just right in between, offering both of the worlds and still managing to look more elegant than the two. So let's just first talk about the changes. Mahindra has sorted their ways and made the headlamp cluster a bit smaller. This still gets the inverted C-shaped LED DRLs with dual barrel headlamps. What is new here is the grille, which I'm still on the fence with. It has the vertical design, but I believe the previous version had a bit more character than this. And one more new addition is the fog lamps design. These are ice cube fog lamps, which I believe looks slightly aftermarket. This could have been implemented in a better way. From the side, the silhouette remains largely unchanged. You do get new dual-tone alloy wheels. The black detailing stands out nicely, although the design itself may take some time to grow on you. There are also new color options, and this in particular, this shade is easily one of my favorite, the Desert Mist. At the rear, there are more noticeable updates. You get redesigned tail lamps and a new bumper. The bumper features a fish scale-like pattern, which is also reflected in the tail lamp detailing. Apart from that, the overall shape remains familiar. Step inside and this is where things have taken a big leap. The biggest highlight being the introduction of a triple screen layout stripped directly from the XCB range. Now that the market is moving towards screen heavy approach for the interior, this one feels just the right implementation. Talking about screens, this infotainment screen is very responsive. It runs on Snapdragon SoC. So the overall feedback or the quality of the screen is good. The fluidity is excellent. You get plenty of features. There's also Group Me function, which is basically the light show. Again, that is something that has been taken from the electric range of Mahindra. Now, apart from the main screen, you also have a co-driver display, which is equally feature rich. It has plenty of apps to use. You can watch YouTube, stream your favorite cricket match, and also that screen gets a privacy function, which means from my POV, the driver's point of view, that screen is not at all visible, at least in the daylight. But once it gets dark, that screen could become visible, so that is something you should be aware of. Now, coming to the cabin theme, as visible, Mahindra has chosen tan and beige. Well, of course, there's an intent to make it look more premium with the tan brown finish, but the shade could have been much darker, which would have looked more premium. This one doesn't feel as premium as you would expect with the tan brown interior. That said, the beige theme, also the beige color, it is becoming dirty quite easily, so that is something you have to be aware of and take care of more than you would expect. That said, the seats, they also get the beige and brown treatment. They are plenty comfortable. Also, Mahindra has changed how the co-driver seat is adjusted. It is now electrically adjustable. Previously, only the driver seat was offered with memory function and electric adjustment, but now you can also adjust co-driver seat to electrical method. Also, there's a boss mode, which is helpful when you're seated at the back. You can move the chair or the co-driver seat according to you and your comfort using the button placed on the side of the seat. Now, before I start talking about the positives of the rear bench, one thing which is missing here is the slide function, which we have seen with the Mahindra XUV 9S, but sadly it is missing here. Apart from that, Mahindra has added few new features. First, you get a wireless charger at the back. Then you have two 65-watt Type-C charging ports at the back also, with mounts to mount your tablet, so you can enjoy multiple screens at the back also. And there's rear sun blind. Also, there's a big sunroof, and one feature that Mahindra has added, which I highly appreciate, is the rear seat ventilation. This we have seen with the competitors like the Tata Safari and the Hyundai Alcazar, but now it is in the XUV 7XO as well. Now, while at it, let's check how spacious is the second row of the XUV 7XO. Well, I can easily slide my feet inside. The leg room, the knee room is decent enough. There's no complaints or whatsoever for the headroom. I think the seats are wide enough for 3 people to be comfortable at the back, and floor is almost flat, so that is again a good thing for the middle passenger. Also, there are 3 headrests and 3-point seat belt for all the passengers, so that's one good thing for safety. So access to the third row is pretty easy. All you have to do is one touch tumble down function for the second row seat. While at the back, this seat feels cramped for me at least, and I call it emergency seat, which is, I believe this is a proper 5+2 and not a 7-seater, just like what the Hyundai Alcazar and the Tata Safari is. So expect similar kind of space. It is best again suited for kids and not an adult like me. But the quarter glass is fairly wide, so you won't feel claustrophobic. You have 2 cup holders and AC vents as well, so yes, you can keep yourself cool while you are in the third row of the XUV 7XO. Now let's talk about variants. Mahindra has worked on the variants list. The MX version is completely gone. The base variant is now AX, which starts at rupees 13.66 lakh. Then there are other variants: AX3, AX5, AX7, AX7T and L. T stands for technology, L stands for luxury. This one right here is the AX7L variant in diesel manual, guys, priced at rupees 22.47 lakh. Now it's time to address the most asked question, the real world fuel efficiency of the 7XO. We did our typical method of testing the car for fuel efficiency in real world scenarios like we do for all the cars, and in city this one returned 11.14 km per liter, and on highway it returned 20.4 km to a liter, which is excellent considering the size and the weight of the SUV. That proves that this one is a true highway machine. You can do long trips, weekend trips on this one, and still it will be light on your pocket, yet being comfortable on the inside, which I'll talk about while I drive the car. So let's do that. Now that we are done talking about the features, the design and all, now it's time to address the major pro, which is the driving dynamics and the ride quality. Now, of course, the XUV 7XO is not a corner carving SUV, but overall the setup here is really nice and makes the overall ride quality really comfortable. So on the move. Now the Mahindra XUV 7XO uses what the brand calls DaVinci dampers with FSD, frequency selective damping. And honestly, the setup feels very sweet and it absorbs most of the road undulation and bumps rather easily. It's one of the most absorbing ride in the price point. So we are used to Safari's ride quality, which is very supple, very nice, and this honestly beats that. I have currently driven this SUV on the very rough patch right now, and it manages to just iron out everything very peacefully without causing any trouble inside the cabin, without me feeling uncomfortable. Talking about the steering wheel, it is equally light and it's quite easy to maneuver when you're in the city and in tight spaces. Having said that, now this is not a proper hardcoder, nor it is meant to be, but it is perfect for our roads. And if you really want to go off-roading, there's all-wheel drive setup as well available with the top of the line version. So for that little extra headroom of having everything, you can go for the AX7L all-wheel drive version. But this right here is the diesel, and this is the 2.2 liter turbo diesel engine, AMOC engine, producing 182 bhp and 410 newton meters of torque paired to a 6-speed manual gearbox. While talking about the engine, it is very smooth, very refined. For a diesel engine, it feels very frugal, and we did our highway mileage testing as well. And I feel on highways, first of all, the ride quality is superior. It's just amazing. It glides through and it is a proper mile muncher. Plus, you are also getting a great efficient engine also. 20 plus kilometers of fuel efficiency with this one. It's almost 1.8 ton is the weight of this SUV. It is quite heavy, it is very huge, and that sort of economy is amazing for this size SUV. Now, further complementing the suspension setup are the 19-inch profile tires. They are both in terms of comfort, they offer great support to the suspension setup. Moving on, talking about the gearbox and clutch. Well, being a diesel, you expect the clutch to be super heavy and the gear shifting to be slightly cluttery, but it is not the case here. The gear shifts are rather very smooth, very easy, and the clutch pedal is extremely light. You completely forget you are driving a diesel engine, if not for the torquiness that you get from the get-go, from the start itself. The engine is slightly on the noisier side once you really climb up the rev. The overall visibility is amazing. You get huge window areas all over the cabin, and you sit slightly above, like you're in a higher demanding or commanding position. The bonnet visibility is also great. You see both edges of the bonnet, so you can really place the car however and whenever you want. Surprisingly, I think it is because of the suspension setup. The cornering didn't feel uh, a bit heavy, top heavy. It felt really natural. It doesn't feel like of its weight. Taking sharp turns, you won't roll across the cabin. You'll be hardly any wobble to you in terms of the suspension and the ride comfort. So while driving, I would love to point out few things. First of all, there's a touch capacitive panel over here for the drive modes. Now coming to the drive modes, there are 4. Basically, there's zip, zap, and zoom and custom, so you can customize how you want your drive mode to be. Talking about the panel, coming back to that, well, it is a touch capacitive panel, and I feel it is distracting at first. There's a major distraction concept here. Second, the touch panel is not great when it comes to accuracy. Of course, I have to take my eyes off to see the buttons clearly, and even pressing them, sometimes they don't register. So that's one annoying thing. I think the previous setup was amazing. The real physical controls, and a lot of brands are moving back to physical controls, like Volkswagen, I believe, and I believe Mahindra should have kept that. Physical controls are great, and they should be back in the next iteration of the XUV 7XO. So overall, the XUV 7XO is a very comfortable, spacious and efficient SUV, especially in the diesel guys. And I feel buyers who want a proper highway machine for their family, who wants to do lots of long trips, then this is the perfect SUV for them. The ride quality is super planted on highways, and it feels stable, very confidence aspiring ride quality. So I feel this could make really a good sense for those kind of buyers. Now those were all the good things, and now it's time to address the misses with the Mahindra XUV 7XO. First, the major miss here is the exclusion of the power tailgate feature, which is now a lot common in the segment, but surprisingly no variants has this feature in the XUV 7XO range. Other feature which is missing is a ticket holder or even a vanity mirror for the driver side sun visor. And one miss which I feel is quite weird is the exclusion of the front parking sensor. Now don't get me wrong, you have that feature, but only with the AX5 variant. Surprisingly, AX7 and above variants doesn't have this feature. Yes, they do have ADAS and 360-degree camera, but they miss out on front parking sensors, which is quite weird. So the real question here is, should you buy this car over its competitors like the Tata Safari, MG Hector, or even Hyundai Alcazar? Then there's other segment, which is Kia Seltos, Hyundai Creta, Renault Duster, Tata Sierra. Now Mahindra doesn't have a dedicated car that caters to this particular segment. They have XUV 3XO, and next is the XUV 7XO. So there's this gap that this car tries to fit in. So if you are in the market to buy a feature-loaded, spacious, comfortable car that also doubles up as a long-distance tourer, very capable one, so this one really makes a strong case for itself. In this segment where buyers don't just want a highly fuel-efficient car, but will miss out on features, or dynamically very sorted car but it is not spacious on the inside. They all need a package, and I think Mahindra has delivered just that. To sum it up, the Hyundai Creta and the Kia Seltos might feel like a worthy upgrade for people who are upgrading from a hatchback or a subcompact SUV. This one is the upgrade that one does before stepping into the luxury segment, and that, my friend, is saying something. This was Haji, and you were watching CarWale.